Hello, everyone. My pleasure today is to welcome Luis Lopez to the Master AI Disruption podcast. Hello, Luis. Welcome to us. So, Luis is in charge of the business development at Tantum Consulting for the vertical of the insurance industry, and he has a long history in insurance and will share with us some of this. Welcome again, Luis. And maybe the first question I'd like to ask you, if you're open to me starting now, is you spent 14 years in the high-stakes world of reinsurance treaties, right? Dealing with C-level decision makers. So what prompted the shift? What prompted the shift for you from that high point in your career to strategy consulting with Tantum?
Well, we started, well, first of all, thanks for having me. Thanks for providing the space to have these ideas and provide a wider debate in the community. So,
Yeah.
yeah, as you said, I've been over 14 years in the insurance industry and the insurance ecosystem. And I saw an opportunity of joining the Tantum Consulting team because the solutions we provide are very oriented to the strategy execution, which is something that I see a lot of need, especially in these times, and it's something that we're going to be talking about today. So very happy to be here and opening this conversation.
And likewise, wonderful. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about Tantum. So my understanding it's focuses on turning strategy into implementation, right? So what in the insurance sector, where everyone is highly educated and very often, you're part of the industry. That's not something that you dive into like that. So highly educated, expert in the field. What is the unseen bridge that you see your clients cross thanks to your help between a written strategy and the actual implementation and execution?
Well, as you might know, insurance is a highly operative and a high problem-solving industry where you might plan your week and it's not gonna go the way you plan it because something's gonna come up. So what we see oftentimes is that even though you can have a very nice designed strategy, sometimes following up on the execution, it's difficult because of the day-to-day. So what we do is to make sure everything is aligned, that your initiatives in the enterprise are aligned with your strategy, that there's someone in the team following up on those. We follow what is known as the execution premium, which is a proven methodology that has many years evolving within the business consultancy market. And that's the way we make sure we follow a consistent basis to support our clients in that regard.
Got it. That's interesting. So you mentioned in our previous conversation that you are working on a project analyzing 6 powerful activities or dualities, I should say, sorry, facing the insurance and reinsurance industry, calling it a historic inflection point, right? So could you give our audience a preview of one or two of these dualities and how they represent both existential threats for the insurance and transformative opportunities at the same time?
Of course. Yes. So I was tasked to work on this because we see that it's very important and interesting that the companies know this and that they can include it in the strategy and eventually, hopefully, involving somebody like us to help them work on it more deeply. But the two of the ones that I think are very interesting and very relevant today are the technology mounting pass, being obsolete versus innovating, and the talent valley. There's a brain drain going on in the industry, and there's also opportunity of renaissance on the talent, So if you allow me, we can touch on each of them separately as we
Sure,
go.
sure. So then let's
Yeah.
expand. So based on your experience then, and your research, what is the single most common bottleneck or
So
point of friction, sorry, that prevents even the most sophisticated insurance firms from successfully executing their strategies? Again, execution.
yeah, well, you see, and you might recall, the FOMO from the mobile app development.
Yes.
I think touching into the technology part of it, there's data out there showing that from all of the in-house developments in
Hmm.
IT in general, only about 30 to 35% are successful projects, being on time, being within budget, and having actual usage for the end user intended. And from that population of projects, only about 60% of them survive because then you have updating, maintenance, and building support. So I mentioned this because a lot of companies will go into the AI FOMO this time, and hopefully they have learned that maybe partnering it up with somebody that actually specializes in AI development might be more fruitful down the road, as in instead of investing in creating your own tools, which could be much more expensive than having somebody like Solar Express AI to come in and help you, you know?
For sure. For sure.
Uh,
I get that. I get that. So you're a champion in strategic management. You've shown that in previous jobs, in the industry. And in our pre-podcast, you candidly share that even the experts in strategic management, like Tantum Consulting, itself faces some internal challenge when it comes to relying on manual processes sometimes, and that you would like to see more of that automation happen in the consulting firm that you work for, Tantum. So can you elaborate on that internal struggle and why, even for a firm focused on strategy and efficiency, this gap can exist sometimes?
Definitely. And I think that touches upon that those 2 points that I make are they're kind of overlapping at some points. I think first of all, you have to pause and have everybody first have like a basic AI training and how to use the tools
Mm,
and stay alert in what could become a liability if you misuse the tools or if you end up creating a model that you don't know how it works. In the consulting and in financial services arena, it's impossible to have a model that you don't understand fully. So
yeah,
I think training is basic, So I saw this somewhere that you need to set up for success. And sometimes everybody wants to grow in a straight line very fast. And I'm more of the idea of maybe pausing a little bit and you may catch that line further down the road, but you
mm,
have everybody trained, everybody understand the tools better, the capabilities better, and see where you can scale in terms of day-to-day operations. As you mentioned, I think before jumping into a really complex tech, the first things that companies need to tackle are day-to-day processes that can be automated in a much secure way than having full-blown solutions being delegated to AI and whatnot.
mm. I get that. So now the future of consulting, right? So for the insurance industry, AI and automation are rapidly changing the game. We know that. How do you see technology and specifically AI disruption impacting the future of strategy consulting itself? And what role must firms like Tantum play to stay ahead?
Well, you've seen the news, like the big three have gotten in trouble because of the
Yeah,
users of AI. And so whoever doesn't handle this carefully could get into trouble very, very quick, and some scandal like that, even if you're a established international firm, can impact on your credibility, can impact on your shareholder value. So definitely it's some space that needs to be navigated with care. Uh, there needs to be a lot of governance on the data side of it because the data is the gold here. If you
sure.
don't have a governance in your data process, you're gonna have trouble down the line using automated AI tools that you might not know how they're putting everything together. So definitely, this is not a AR race in the terms of the algorithm. I believe it's more of a who can get better processes managing the data, so data governance. Whoever manages doing that and then including the tools into the process pushing forward and looking ways to scale automation and operability on the day-to-day, is they're going to be the ones on the winner side down the road.
So you kind of told me, but I'm going to ask you another question then around that. So what can our listeners learn from you, the one piece of actionable advice that you would give them, when it comes to this, execution of strategy in this time of disruptive AI?
Well, definitely, it's a conscious exercise, and asking what the company, a lot of times, because of the FOMO, people jump into these bandwagons of the technology, but there's no clear value of what you want to get out of it. So before jumping into any project involving technology and automation, I believe that there's got to be a deep conscious exercise of what are the value chain that you want to deliver back to the end users at the end of the process. And that's the way you're going to start governing your data and your processes in a way that down the road with the projects, you have something that it's going to add value to your enterprise and to your projects.
Sure, sure. So when can our listeners find information about Tantum Consulting and to learn more about your work in strategic execution for the insurance industry?
Sure. Well, Tantum Consulting is on our website. You can just Google Tantum Consulting. We're going to be the first option there because we strive to be on top there. But the website is tantumconsulting.mx, and there you can explore on a very broad basis what we offer to different industries. My vertical is insurance, as you well pointed out. And you can also find us in LinkedIn. We usually post two to three times every week with insights on the strategy and also on corporate governance, that it's very useful to create debate and share ideas with the community.
So Luis, you're based in Mexico, but you reach clients throughout the entire Central America and North America, correct?
Yeah, correct. The intention and the effort of the insurance practice within Tantum is to provide a reach for the Latin American market, and I can say that goes from Miami to all the way to Argentina and Chile. So yeah, we're looking for projects wherever we can help in Spanish-speaking countries and also English opportunities that I can tackle.
Talking about Spanish-speaking countries, do you do any work in Los Angeles and Southern California?
So not at the time, but there's a few companies that do provide coverage, a cross-border coverage, and between Mexico and the U.S., especially for commercial trucks. So that's something that we can explore down the line. It's right now it's not there, but I know that the business is there. So maybe in the future we can explore reaching out to those companies that do that kind of coverage of transborder coverage there, it's called.
Wonderful. Well, I think that's a wrap up for today and for this episode of the Master AI Disruption podcast. Thank you for joining us, Luis, and we look forward to seeing you and see how Tantum Consulting is faring this wave of disruption, within the strategy consulting business. But it seems like you're doing great work, and we're very happy to have brought you to our audience in the insurance industry and beyond. Thank you very much, Luis.
Well, thanks, Francis, for the opportunity, and please let me know if I can answer anything down the road in the comments.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thanks.